So with that, he wanted to tell a quick little story about meeting you, and I'm so grateful to have met you because without this woman, I would not be here. And she's just an amazing leader. I learn from her every day, every month, and I'm grateful. I told Michelle we were watching you talk at a bowl, and I said, I feel so lucky to work with her. Aww. And I'm so grateful to have her. We're lucky to have her today. Miss Melanie Kenneman, our operating principal.
Well, thank you. Oh, heck, they finally let me come back to talk. Just kidding. I'm so excited to be involved with so many of you. Oh, hey, Jean, look, our broker's in the room. Jean Grubb. Hello there, Jean. She gets to tell me lots of stories of what y'all are up to up here. I get to hear that stuff as an OP. All the stuff you don't hear as a team leader, you hear as an OP. You're like, oh, really? That's how that works. Okay, interesting. Like I tell Michelle and Paul, it's fascinating, right? So how many of you really believe that you live a life by design?
I do.
Yes. Okay, some of you did not raise your hand. So if you don't think that you live a life by design and that the choices that you make, I want to challenge your mindset today, okay? That's why I'm here. I want you to think differently. I want you, we talk about in bold. How many of you are in bold? They were doing bold. Okay, so how many of you are not? That means everybody else's hand should go up, right? Because like either or. It was not your question. Okay, great. So I want everybody to put their hand out and squeeze it really tight. Hold your fist, man. Hold it tight because you are closed and you are strong, okay? Keep going. Hold it harder. Lift it up. Make it uncomfortable for you. Okay, now we're going to do it for about 10 minutes, okay? So hold it really tight. All right, now open it up. Relax your hand. Relax your arm. How does that feel? Doesn't that feel better? Doesn't that feel more comfortable? Don't you feel like, oh, it's so much easier to just have my hand open, right? That's how life is. You can go through life closed-fisted. I know everything. I'm not going to be open. I know it all. I know it all. I'm better. This. Or you can be like, maybe I can learn something from this situation, from this person, from something I heard of, and come from an open perspective. And so every time you guys walk in a room like this and come to a training, your expectations should be, what am I going to learn today? That's how life should be for you. Every time you have a hard situation, what can I learn from this situation? So for me, it's all about life by design. So I want to tell a little bit about my story, and then I have a guest that I brought with me today because I love her story too, and we're going to talk about some things that I think you can use today in your business that I think you've been doing this with. I know you've been doing this with. And I'm going to challenge you to be more open about it. Does that seem fair?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I was born in California in 1970, and my parents decided at 4 years old to be a great idea to get divorced. And so Mom said, well, we're going to leave the city and move you away from your father to a place called Mammoth Lakes in Lake Tahoe. So I lived between the mountains and the beach. And I'd go visit Dad, and it was Disneyland. And I mean, I loved both my parents. Great relationship with both my parents. And honestly, it was a good decision they got divorced. Just some people are not meant to be married. Can you agree with that? They're meant to procreate, and then we're good. Go do your thing. Like, my dad is like a Tai Chi meditating attorney. You would never guess that. He's the most low-key guy. And my mom is like, I'm going to take over the world. And she's been a principal at high-risk school. So I had very interesting role models in my life. So one of the things I want you to hear is history repeats itself, and are you open to opportunities and the lessons that are around you? Okay, so this keeps repeating. All right, so at 18, I moved back to Los Angeles, and I had gotten signed. It was not on my bucket list to be a model. Choices I had made, I'd done music all through high school. I was a singer-songwriter. I was very involved with Students Against Driving Drunk, so always in leadership, and my goal was to make a difference in life. So somehow I fell into my local Miss America pageant because I was like, scholarship money for school. So I got that. Well, the person that was running the Miss Nevada pageant happened to be a modeling agent. And she's like, well, while you come to school, why don't you come work with me and make money that pays for school? And I'm like, brilliant, that sounds great. You just can't eat. And I'm like, okay, well, that might be the hard part. So I made really good money modeling, which led me to getting signed with LA Models in LA. So I had a decision to make. Do I take some time off school and go follow this, make some good money, and then I have to pay cash for my college? Meanwhile, I got to have more time with my dad, who I had no time with really except at vacation, right? So I moved to LA and modeled, and what did I find? You think I loved it? No, I didn't like it. It wasn't who I I was. My whole life I had been in leadership and I'd been about making a difference. So the whole time, besides starving myself, I was looking behind the camera like, ooh, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are the movers and shakers? So for me, I knew I was not in the right environment. So I immediately stopped. I did not think that was a good place for me. And I went back to school, and I still graduated within 4 years. And then I got into the movie industry because I had been so intrigued by what was going on behind camera. So I got into the movie industry, which led me to New Orleans. In New Orleans, I worked with a German film company. They happened to offer me to come to Germany with them for 3 months. I decided to say, what? Yes, because when opportunities present themselves, you take them. I met my husband on the shoot in Hamburg when I went to Germany. So then I moved back to Germany a year later. The problem was I wanted to work in Germany, but it wasn't cute anymore that I didn't speak German. It was only cute on the American movie, right? It's not cute anymore that you can't speak German. So I needed to learn a new language at age 26. And I said, well, I'm going to learn this language. And my whole programming, my whole life, was I'm not good at languages. I'm good with people. I love people. I'm high energy. I'm a highly creative person. Language is not my thing. Well, when you're motivated, do things change? And when you go from being, I'm really bad at languages to, well, this is what I want to do, so I better open up. My mindset shifted. Within 3 months, I was on my next movie in Germany, speaking German. And within a year, I was running movie sets in Germany in German. For me, I was like, wow, Melanie, anything is possible. You really design your life. You just have to believe it, because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. 2 babies later, had our 2 sons. They are awesome. I decided I was homesick. I'm like, well, now I have kids, and now I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not doing the movie thing anymore. I want to move back to the States. So we moved back to a town called Reno that was right by Tahoe, because I thought Reno was the bigger city. I didn't want to raise the kids in LA. My mom was just retiring from being a principal, so I'd have help at home and I could do something with my career again. Real estate would be a good idea. That was 2006. Do you remember what happened in 2006 in Nevada? Yeah, the whole economic, financial, housing market crash. Who was #1 in foreclosures? Nevada! I've always wanted to be #1, and man, we got it like that. So I got my real estate license, and I joined this company I'd never heard of called Keller Williams. And I said, Keller who? 2 different people I really respected said, you have to check out this company if they're up and coming. Went there. I could feel the energy there. I could see the vision of where we were going. At the time, we were #7 in the country. We were like #5 or 6 locally market share-wise, but I could see this was a company that's very different than the other companies, because everywhere else I went, it was like, well, because of this or because of this. When I went to Keller Williams, they said, what do you want to make happen? How can we help you get there? I was like, ooh, I like the sound of that. Because, you know, we all bring something to the table, so you want to be around people you think that are going to accelerate your gifts that you have already, right? And just make them better, yes? Yes, and that's why I would assume you're all here. So I got my license, joined Keller Williams as a brand new agent in 2006, and literally everybody heard this huge loud crash, and that was the market had completely fallen out. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? You're going to learn the market of the moment, which was 65% was short sales foreclosures, right? People were losing their properties. And I said, well, hey, this is great. What a great opportunity. Because now the value of the real estate agent to me had come back. I had a limiting belief, again, that sales was bad. Being a salesperson was a negative thing. And then I realized being a great salesperson is just asking great questions and facilitating a need somebody has. The better you are with people, the better salesperson you can be, because you really care about people, right? So got my license, started doing short sales foreclosures. But the minute I joined Keller Williams, I knew I wanted to be a team leader. 10 months later, I was team leader. So for me, it was just like, it's just like Germany. I'm learning another language, right? So our market center went from #7 locally to 654 to #1 in the city, #1 in the region, #21 in all of Keller Williams, in one of the hardest real estate markets in the country. And I know Paul knows because it was happening in Vegas at the same time. You're going through the same thing I was. And then I was like, okay, that was fun. 3.5 years later, been there, done that. What's next? And honestly, my heart was calling me to be a bold coach. I really wanted to be a bold coach. There was only only one big problem. Ben and Sam, exactly, my two awesome kids. And my husband still, like right now, Klaus Kenneman, who we've been married for 20 years. Yes, can I get an applause for that? Because it's been a lot of work. Anybody else married to somebody from another culture? All right, so you know what I mean. It's amazing. So it should be 40, but I guess because you've gone all the time, it all averages out. He's in Germany right now, so I couldn't be on the road all the time. I can't be gone. The whole reason we had a family, my family always comes first. Yeah, I'm competitive and I want to win, but I want my family to win first. And I want them to always to know that I was always there and I never missed anything. So vault coach, boom, that had to wait. What else could I do? Regional, be a regional director. How do you be a regional director? If you're a regional director, you're not really with the people, and that was my whole favorite part of this, is being with people. So I was in a class here in Austin, Texas, and I met Diane Johnson. Who any of you know her, she's been my partner team leader now for 7 years. And she said, well, actually, I'm looking for a partner to come to Market Center 1, which is the South office, and I'm looking to turn that around. And see, you don't get me interested unless there's something you can do with it, right? If it's perfect, any of you know that when like the job's perfect, do you really want to go there? Because if you're the next guy, you're always like the, oh, well, so-and-so, right? It's there, there's a one way to go and that's down usually, right? So I don't know, that's just me. I want to make a difference. I want to take it to another level. So I decided to move my family here 7 years ago. Now again, when I moved here, I removed myself from my entire family core. I didn't really think it through because I thought when opportunities present themselves, what happens? You take them, because if I waited another year or whatever, maybe that opportunity wouldn't be there anymore, right? My work was done in Reno. I was ready for a move on. I just turned 40, and I was ready for the next thing. So I moved here, moved away from my family, and boy, let me tell you, that first year in Austin, it was rough. Whew. 2011, remember the market in 2011? Very flat, nothing really happening. I'm like, oh no. I felt like I was working 10 times as hard as I was in Reno because, you know, in real estate, after you've done it a couple years, the energy you have to put in it is a different energy than startup. Like when you start a plane, the energy when the plane goes up is different once it's in the air, right? So it's a different energy. It's not that you don't need energy, but it's a different energy. So that first year was really hard in Austin. And honestly, there were many times that I thought, is this the first time that I did not make the right decision? My kids are crying every day. What have you done to us? Why have you moved us from cousins, grandma, auntie, uncle? It's hot here. It was the summer that was 100 days over 100. Remember that one? Welcome to Austin, and we had no swimming pool. I'm like, all right, that's on the next list, right? So the summer after that I got there, summer 2011, I got a call from Dee Schultz. And my husband was shooting actually in Morocco at the time. And she says, she can't even speak on the phone. She's like, Melanie. And I know those that know me know this story. She said, you won the Mercedes. And I said, what? She said, you won the car. I said, well, wait, back up. 4 months before that, Dee Schultz, who, you guys know Dee? She's one of like the luxury legends in this city. She started KW Luxury. Dee had walked into my office right when I got there. She didn't know we were short selling our house and had pretty much lost all our money from Germany in the real estate market in Reno. It's not something you go advertise. And she comes in and she says, hey, I've got these tickets for the ABOR Foundation. They're $100 and you can win a trip to Germany in a Mercedes. How many do you want? And I said, I'll take, first I said, she gives me such a hard time about this. First I said, well, let me talk to my husband. She said, are you kidding me? Our new CEO has to ask her husband, but I was too embarrassed to say, I don't really have any money. So I said, okay, I'll take one ticket. And then I forgot about it, went on my way. So in June, when we're doing our staycation, and Dee calls me to tell me, you won the car and the trip to Germany. I was like, besides myself. So I'm trying to call my husband in Morocco, and I reach him, and he said, oh, Millie, it's just a scam. It's just a scam. And I said, no, it's the real deal. I really want a car. He said, really? Only you, Millie, you know? And then finally, I reached Mary Tennant, and Mary Tennant, she said, oh, honey, this is the first of many things in Austin that are going to do you right. But I hadn't felt like luck had been going my way in Austin yet. I was really doubting myself right when this happened. But what really got me is my bold letter arrived the next week. And I know, sorry that some of you know this story, my bold letter arrived, and in that letter I had said, get myself a new sports car, and take the kids back to Germany. I had not been back to Germany in 7 years with the boys since we left Germany. So the next summer, we flew to Germany, got to go drive with our new Mercedes, my mother-in-law, say, look what we won. And so the point with that is, believe you're in the right place, and you're gonna always take a step back before you take a step forward. And when times are really tough, you really need to look at yourself and say, what's going on with my energy? What do I need to be doing differently to make sure I'm attracting something totally different? Who can relate to that? My two favorite bold laws are you teach people how to treat you, and you get what you deserve in your imagination. And when I used to run movie sets, the set managers blamed for everything. That was my job. It's kind of like a team leader. It's always your fault. And so the way that I handled it, though, was always with a smile. Okay, we'll look into that, absolutely. And at the end of the shoots, people would come and say, you were the most least yelled at set manager I've ever worked with. You really teach people how to treat you. The question is, do you guys believe that? I believe it. So if somebody's not treating me with respect, I'm like, I must not be treating this person with respect, right? Or they've got really something that I need to help them get through. Okay, so back to Life by Design. Here we are 7 years later, love living in Austin. My children have forgiven me. They love it now. We have a pool, that helps a lot. And a year ago, Mary Tennant pulled Diana and myself aside, and she said, to honor you ladies for what you've done, we're going to give you an opportunity. And that's when she said, I'm going to allow you to be the OP at the Northwest Market Center. And on my future, I didn't know what I wanted to do next as a team leader. I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to help team leaders be great team leaders, and I wanted to help agents keep building extraordinary lives. So the OP couldn't have been more perfect. And I don't know if you know this, but Paul reached out to our Facebook page when he was in Vegas with another company saying, you know what, I'm thinking about checking out Austin. I said, I got it. Let's set up a call. We had a call, immediately in love with this guy. I'm like, you coming to town? Great. I want to meet you and your wife. And I got us on Diana Kokoska's calendar. We had a 3-hour meeting. Everybody kept trying to interrupt us, and Diana's like, nope, go away. You and I walked out of there, and we're like, okay, we don't know how this is going to happen, but it's going to happen. Here we go. Then I guess it was about 6 months after that, or 8 months.
Yeah.
You were here as the team leader.
I was here about 9 months.
9 months later.
After I joined KW.
Yeah. The reason I didn't give his name sooner was because I wanted to work with him. So he became team leader here first before I had any clue I was going to be the OP. Life by Design. Are you open for opportunities? Are you living your life like this, or are you living it like this? People can be very judgmental, right? People can be very judgmental to you. Don't allow that. Be happy. I don't know if any of you are on my Facebook, but I'm like, be happy. It drives people crazy. Like, what's wrong with that girl? What is she on? And I'm like, I haven't had caffeine in 2 years. I've been on this health kick. I don't have caffeine. I don't drink alcohol. Like, really? What is wrong with you? And I swear it's not drugs. It is completely decisions that I make every day. And that's what I want to challenge you guys with. So with that, I asked Mimi to come join me here today. This is Mimi Vaughn. Yay! You don't have a second microphone by any chance, or should we just pass back and forth? Okay, so Mimi, I met Mimi. She works in the Butte-Kyle area. Anybody done a deal with Mimi Vaughn? Not yet. It's coming, though. It's coming. When I met you, Mimi, it was about a year ago, January. Well, I met you before that, but when you got licensed was January. We met a few months before that. And she was full-time at Lost Pines doing events and things like that. And had 2 kids, never really saw them. I mean, it was a really stressful life. And at the time you said, actually your husband said, you're going to get into real estate. She got her license because he wanted to start doing flips. And she was going to do sales. And so, long story short, she jumped into bold. She has come to us with this, okay? She's not been this at all. Anything we've coached her on or whatever, she's always been, teach me, Melanie. Teach me, coach. Teach me, person. Teach me, fabulous agent, right? We're sitting in my office this January. I said, Mimi, how was first year? How did that go? Well, you have a microphone now. Is it on? It's a red light. Okay, so how did your first year go?
So I closed on 22 transactions.
So 22 deals her first year.
I had $6 million million in sale, and I capped in month and a half this year. So I've already capped.
We're just started April, but she's already been capped in her second year, so she has like 10 months of 100%. I think that's cool. Do you think, okay, then what we didn't mention is her husband, who's been part of the game plan, and that he was not her sales, okay? Because it's just ironic that they're the same number. They also did 22 flips. Yeah. Yeah. She only did 2 of those sales, by the way. So 22 deals for Mimi, 22 flips for the family. Now they have a whole team that works with them. And what are your goals for this year?
My goals are 60 transactions, 24 million in sales, and 540 in GCI.
Okay, so I wanted Mimi to come with me because I think she brings a lot of validity in what we're going to talk about. Like I said, you come like this, right? And can you hear me okay? Yes. When I started real estate, it was a hard market and you needed every single tool that you could get to stand out. When I would hold an open house, it was all brown grass, for sale signs everywhere because everybody wanted to sell their house because nobody could pay their payments anymore, right? And you'd get one buyer driving down and that's when those whole fans came into play, right? Open house, come to mine, here. And it was a totally different market than you're in today. So every tool that I could get to stand out, to make myself different from the competition, man, I got my hands on that and I ran with that, right? That's this girl. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something called Keller Mortgage. Let's talk Keller Mortgage. We launched it 1 year ago today. We beta tested it here and in Austin. And I know we're filming, but when it rolled out, it was, okay, I know, it was bad, it was horrible. It's totally different now. It's totally different now. And I want you to take this mindset and open up and hear me on this. This girl here has built an extraordinary business off of using Keller Mortgage. And I want to talk about how you've done that in some of your open houses and stuff like that. But really, I want you to think about if you're going to be the agent of tomorrow, what are the tools you're going to use? How are you going to stand out differently than the competition? Everybody's on the internet, right? Everybody can hold an open house or whatever. What are you doing to make sure you're the agent of tomorrow? Our times are changing. We've talked about this before. What are you doing to make sure you stay along with that? And the whole reason Gary started Keller Mortgage is to make sure you stay in front of people. Is anybody in here even using Keller Mortgage? Do you even know what it is? Okay, great. So everybody pull out your phones, and click on your branded app that's on your phone. Now, if you're new, I know you don't have it, but everybody else should have their branded app on their phone. So pull out your Keller Williams app. You have it? And open it up. And just look at a property. Click on nearby properties. Are you using this tool? Because if you're not, what a wasted opportunity. This is something you should be doing in every open house, every conversation. This tool is brand new to you. All those leads go to you. You need to be using this if you're not. Okay, so click on a property and have a property open up. Of course, these are all properties on the market. This is an MLS feed directly. So it's not just Keller Williams listing. It's not just your listings. It's everybody's listings, right? Why would you want your client to use your app and not, for example, a Zillow? Tell me why. Talk to me. I need to educate people in the room. So you get the lead, and why else is it a benefit to the consumer, though?
This is more accurate.
Ding, 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 because ours is correct. Ours is right. Ours is a direct feed from the MLS. The consumers, including my husband, like Zillow, right? People like Zillow. Is Zillow's information accurate?
No.
Say no. It's not, right? They get a one-time push from MLS and then they're done. And who knows if it's even true? It could be 3 years old. You'll never know. You never put down anybody else. You just say, I'm going to give you a tool that helps you search like an agent. Okay? You can see every property that's on the market. It's real-time from MLS. I'm going to text that to you because you're probably using some third-party provider that's probably not giving you the accurate information. So now, when they use your app, when you open it up and you see a property, do you see the thing that says save whatever thousands of dollars?
Yeah.
Okay? What is that? Keller Mortgage, exactly. And so, who else can offer that? Huh? Other Keller Williams agents, exactly. You know, you're the only company that's somewhat doing something like this is Redfin, right? Who's a publicly owned company. They don't really have much of a presence here. They're from the West Coast, but this is kind of a trend we're seeing. The problem with that, though, is they're discounting who? when they say, I'll do a 1% listing, who's taking the hit? The agent's taking the hit, right? So the consumer's getting some savings, but the agent's taking the hit. So how does Gary Keller compete, being now the largest real estate company in the world? How can we ensure that we don't take everything we've done to today and be like, "Ooh, we're number one," and then not keep going forward? Oh boy, this game is just beginning. We're nowhere near being done. We're late to the technology game, but we're not too late. We're going to win this battle because we're privately owned and we have Gary Keller leading our company. I'll tell you that. And so anyway, so when you go to Keller Mortgage, who owns Keller Mortgage? Gary Keller. And so Gary Keller says, I'm going to wipe all those fees that goes to profit of a company and just give them to the consumer. So there's no fee to them. I mean, all those fees that pays to the loan officer and all that stuff goes away. It's a direct savings. So really, if you compare, who's even the closest thing, a Redfin deal to our deal, who would win? Ours would win. Gary Keller pulled up a listing and emailed me and said, look at the difference in Rollingwood. This says, click here to save $9,600 to work with a Redfin agent. And he said, I did the math. At Keller Mortgage, they would save $10,600. And then he told me, if I ever send a referral again to your office and that agent does not offer them Keller Mortgage, I'm going to not be happy. When they find out, say, Gary, I didn't know I could save $18,000 on my loan. What's holding you back? Why are you being so close? Finally, trust me, and I know, because I do what he does every day in the South Office. I get it. You have your people and all that. But don't you want to have multiple opportunities for people and let your clients choose? If your client's like, well, no, I need somebody there and I need them to be with me at closing, great, then that's not a match for you. Hey, heck, for me, I'll save $10,000. I'll fill it out online. You got it. What app do I click on? $10,000 people, let's be real. We've saved over $5 million to the consumer since March. So what I'm finding is like now finally in the South, we're feeling like people are like, okay, we get it. And we're sending about 90 leads per month. Our people are finally getting it. We don't get it here yet. We don't get it here. There's a resistance from you guys at a high level. I'm not kidding. In January, I think there was 12 leads for the month. 12 of you even gave that opportunity to clients. Last month it was 14. Now we saw momentum last week, Paul, right? Because we had 12 for the week.
I started up 30 people.
Okay, great. And the irony is, guys, do we win from this?
No.
We win when you win. Do you get that? Team leaders, we only care about how your business goes. We never want to get in the way of your business, but we want you to have all the opportunities possible. And I just don't understand that. Do you know that on a listing, you can be at a listing appointment, you say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, did you know because you're listing with me today at Keller Williams Agent, we can offer a 0+ loan to any buyer that comes, regardless what company they're represented by. Let's do the right thing and sign the paperwork. You can, absolutely. They do refis. Thank you for bringing that up. They do refis. In fact, Andy Fisher, Andy Fisher is one of our agents in our office, and he's like, well, I'm just going to use them for a refi, because again, it costs $0, and then you get $1,000 back at closing, and he had already done the paperwork with another company, and what happened is he did the refi, and then he found that he had such a good rate, because the rate beats everybody, because other people that'll give you deals, what do? Or it wraps into the rate, and you don't really see it. That's not the deal here. Yours is gone, okay? So he did a refi. They said, well, do you want to do a 20-year instead of 30? Because it's really a close payment. He's like, absolutely. So he did the math, and actually not just the savings from the refi, he's saving $110,000.
I mean, also,
Yeah,
how about calling your sphere and asking them, people that have closed 3, 4, 5 years ago, and saying, hey, we have this amazing tool, Keller Mortgage, that does amazing refinancing rates, and you can save a lot of money, and it's at no cost to you. It's because I know you, and you know me, I can refer you to them, and they save a lot of money.
Beanie, you had a new listing, you held it open, somebody walked into her open house, and they already had representation, and she knew they were really excited about the house, and she said, oh, by the way, do you all have a lender you work with? Because I could save you thousands of dollars. What's the benefit? She just looks like an extraordinary agent by doing it. You guys called, they got a better rate.
So the knowledge, also, when I do open houses, even on my listings, and I double checked with Linda on this, I always say in the agent remarks that we have special financing that will save your buyer dollars.
Yeah.
So I haven't had an agent say, okay, we're gonna use it, but I'm not giving up because
Right.
they'll come around. And I upload the flyer that Keller Mortgage. Did you guys know that if you go to KW Connect and you search Keller Mortgage, they have different flyers that you can make them your own and put your picture there, and you can edit them. So when you're doing an open house, your face is right there on that flyer that tells them exactly how much money they're saving comparing to the other lenders. So, I mean, what kind of a value?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, go ahead.
Even if you're not the listing agent, I mean, even if this buyer, you're trying to get this buyer attention, because, I mean, let's be honest, when you're holding an open house, you're looking for buyers to represent. The value you're gonna bring to these people, just by saying, you don't have to have a USDA loan or any special loan that will give you discount, just by working with me and getting pre-approved with Keller Mortgage, you get to save at least $5,000 on a $200,000 home. I mean, that's amazing.
So let me ask you something. Is Mimi, and you know that I do this a lot, so don't take this wrong, right? But like a lot of times I think people don't feel connected with people because they're like, oh, because it's that person, or it's because it's that person. I wanted Mimi here because Mimi is real. Mimi is living the American dream, honestly. She moved here when you were 22?
Yes,
22 from Macedonia,
I
right?
didn't know anybody.
Didn't know anybody. She came with, was it Hilton? Or
With the Hyatt.
Sorry, I know, I get those H's mixed up. With Hyatt and was in the retail business with hotels for a long time. And then that's where I met her. She'd been doing that for years and has changed her life in 1 year. But here's the thing, she just does it. She's just open. She's saying, teach me, what are my opportunities? And I think there's two kinds of people. There are opportunity people that can see it and people that don't. So if you're one of those, I mean, really, it comes down to it. If you're one of the people over here that are not opportunity people that see it, wake that up in yourself, okay? Because you're missing out on life. You are missing out. Opportunities are around you every single day. I don't have anybody to call. Well, do you know people? Do you have a brother? Do you have a sister? You think that they could benefit? Hey, what's your rate? You know, let's look at rates before. Everybody's talking about rates going up, right? Let's lock you into something. You know, what kind of percentage are you? And I can do a 0 fee. So take it. Go ahead.
So another thing, when you're holding an open house and you have buyers coming through, instead of having them sign in, tell them, hey, I have this awesome app that's branded to me. It's Keller Williams. And the coolest thing is, when you look at properties on that app, it will tell you exactly how much money you're going to be saving. And do you guys know how powerful that is? I've gotten so many cell phone numbers and started texting with them. You text them the app, and once they walk away, you can say, thank you so much for visiting my open house. How can I help you? Or stay in touch with them. That's even more valuable.
Exactly.
An amazing tool to gather information from the people that visit your open houses.
Yeah, exactly. So what my belief is, and why I wanted to share this part is, I feel like a lot of you have been coming at it from this. And maybe some of you tried it at the beginning and then it wasn't what you thought. I would challenge you guys to be more open. And I also think maybe you just don't know how to talk the language. So these are 4 pages of scripts and ideas that you can use for using that in your prospecting or conversations you're having with people. It's actually, those of you in bold, you'll see it's written into bold. Let me also tell you that we're very lucky here that we have this as market centers. At family reunion, a lot of you were at family reunion, you know, all these breakout sessions. It's so funny, because trust me, I deal with it every day. I have a guy, I do videos and send stuff all the time about this, and I had one guy text me from family reunion, how do I get my code to get Keller Mortgage? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we've talked about it 575 times, and it's on your phone. I'm like, open your phone, and there it is. How they're rolling it out now, because they don't want to like overwhelm, because they're rolling out all around the country. They're only letting people like 5 groups at a time, 5 people at a time per market center, and you have to apply, and you have to have done like 10 transactions. So it's very different other places than it is here. So for you, you really, really, really want to take advantage of it. I think you just don't know what a huge opportunity you have. Yes, ma'am.
I think one of the challenges that I've gotten from agents, right, and Auntie, one of the answers that I get from the agents is, what you don't understand, I have a loan officer that they're helping me. They're helping me, or I have a loan officer, I have this relationship that's been there a long time. I have a question for you. Who are you the fiduciary for? Yourself? helps your client, all right? That's who you have a fiduciary relationship to. And if they ever find out that they could have had a lot more money back in their pocket because you didn't tell them about Keller Mortgage, you sent them to someone else for them to get the loan, guess who they call?
Miss Jean. And actually, I was in a mastermind of this at Family Reunion, and they're really looking at how to avoid that, because that actually is a problem.
It
When
is a
people
problem.
say, why wasn't I offered this? And here's the thing, if you have a great loan officer, we love that. What do we offer? We always provide what? Options, right? So then they're gonna choose, if they want that person that's gonna be there, that might be enough for them to pay the extra closing costs and stuff. But it's their choice, right? And so hold your thought, I'll be right to you. One idea they had in the mastermind is it might change. They might turn us off if we're not using it, because the low numbers in this market center. I'm like, no, that's not happening. We're not turning off Northwest. So I challenge you guys to come from a more open perspective on this, learn more about it. It's actually a class. When we started teaching this more in the South, that's when our numbers turned around, is that people understood it. They understood this is a tool for you. We're not saying you have to use it, but use it as a tool and let your buyers decide, right? But I just want you to have an open mind about that, because there was somebody that came back and was upset about why wasn't I offered, and so they are looking at ways of how they could avoid that kind of future lawsuits, honestly.
Melanie,
Yes.
and I think Gary Keller, if most of you were not able to go to family reunion, there's a message, there's a why behind Keller Mortgage, and I think a lot of people don't understand the why. If you guys can watch the vision speech by Gary Keller,
Has anybody, you watched it? It's just posted on KW Connect. It's-
that just explains what the whole reason behind Keller Mortgage
Right.
is.
Yeah.
It's us being ahead of everybody else
Right.
and offering these things that other internet-based companies offer, and us being competitive. So by us sharing Keller Mortgage and sharing our app, we'll be able to stand on the top where we are right now.
Can you guys thank Mimi real quick, and I'm gonna wrap it up with my last thing. Thank you, baby. Thank you. She's amazing. Okay, so thank you for letting us share that part with you. It's that important. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with this, guys, because Paul's gotta wrap it up. So I'm always learning based. I always come from this, and I catch myself being like this, and I'm like, okay, be more open, be more open. And I love that everybody's looking on their apps now. I read a book over the weekend called High Performance Habits. Anybody of you read that? Okay, so the first half of the book, I felt like he's selling his coaching. Did you feel that way? I was like, okay, I'm not going to give up yet, because this was a gift to me, and somebody thought I would like it, so I'm going to stick it out. And I really wanted to like it for our ALC, so I kept reading, and then the second half really got me, really the last third of the book. And it was about enduring, staying high performance long term. And a lot of you in the room, I know you have been doing this for quite a while. And one little thing I heard is my nugget from the book that I'm going to share with you guys. Do you ever feel like you're just running and blowing and going from one appointment to the next? Then go get the kids, and then do this, and then whatever. This is what he says: between every transition in your life, during your day, take a minute and just breathe and say, release whatever energy you have going on. Release, and set your intention of what do I want to happen in this next conversation. So maybe you're running from one committee meeting, then you're meeting with a client, then you jump on a phone with somebody else. Take a second to just release that energy, focus, and be intentional. It's amazing, those little things and those little habits that you teach your mind how to think makes all the difference in the world. Do you think energy matters to me? It really matters to me. For me, energy is everything. Your energy precedes you, and I hope you got a little something out of today. And just like, thank you for letting me be your OP and be here. Woo!
Thank you. If you got value today, say yes. All right, good. Key announcements. Thursday's Mindset Mastermind with Nicole Young. I mentioned that earlier. That's going to be Powerhouse, guys. Thursday at 2 o'clock. Next recharge is next week. And committee day right after that. So stick around if you're having lunch after team meeting. Committee day is in place. So especially plug in on Red Day. Agent Investor class on 420. Career night 426. So if you have people that are interested in the business, or you want them to get a better idea as far as what real estate or Keller Williams is all about, I think that's a Wednesday, but April 26th, and then Red Day. Let's give our sponsor another round of applause for Lunch Financial Education Services. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Go make some money.